Aloha! This is Business in Hawaii with Reg Baker, and we are filming in downtown Honolulu in the Pioneer Plaza in the beautiful city of Honolulu. However, it is a little bit wet today, and we've been wet for the last few weeks, but it is Hawaii, so can't complain too much. We've got a great guest today. We're going to have some fun talking about the Small Business Administration. But prior to that, I'd like to announce that we are showing live on livestream.com. And if you want to subscribe to the notices of our show, please go to ThinkTechHawaii.com. I did have a little shout out that I wanted to do this morning, and just to acknowledge a viewer that we have on the island of Kauai. Dr. Lucy Miller was so gracious to send me an article that was in the Civil Beat yesterday, and it was written by Chad Blair, and it was a positive story on business in Hawaii, which I'm very happy to see. Normally, some of the stories that we see about how well business is in Hawaii is not all that positive, but apparently we were ranked and given a C for having the small business friendliest state. And there was also a couple other grades that we received, which is good to hear. And if you don't mind, I'm going to read that a little bit. But we had an A for training and networking programs. We have a B for business regulation. And we also had a B for places business owners would encourage others to start a business. So that's all good news. And that's something that this show is all about, is talking about the positive aspects of business. And with that in mind, we're going to have one of the bigger engines of that success, the District Director of the Small Business Administration, Jane Sawyer. Great to have you, Jane.
How are you, Reg?
I'm doing very well.
Thanks for having me.
You betcha. As a matter of fact, you just came back from being on the mainland for a little while?
I was away for a bit. It was a good break to be in a different environment and out of the office, but that kind of helps you reconnect sometimes. So, and I've been, we had our annual directors meeting, so we had a chance to, again, compare how Hawaii is really doing with some of the other states. And despite some of those other studies and forecasts and stories, we're doing pretty well.
That's good to hear. It's always good to hear that we're making some progress. So, Jane, you've been with the SBA for a while now here locally. How long have you been with them?
I started with SBA in 1993, so it's been a while. I've had a lot of different positions and a lot of different opportunities to work with small businesses throughout our state and actually throughout our district. Our Small Business Administration district here includes not only the state of Hawaii, but territory of American Samoa, Guam, and then the compact areas. So a lot of diversity, and we see a lot of different business environments.
Geographically, that's got to be one of the biggest in the country for SBA districts.
Well, it is the biggest geographically. I think we're one of the most culturally diverse, and we probably have the most water. Of anybody else. And we are international because we cover a lot of different jurisdictions.
So does that complicate things for you at all?
It can. Sometimes we have such a huge range of programs and services, but some of them don't quite fit. So there are, we do financing, access to capital, we do federal government contracting. We're also involved then with consulting, training, and technical assistance.
Very good, but you must spend a lot of time on the road.
I'm usually mostly in the office. We've got a great staff and really good network of partners, our local lenders, our small business development centers, our SCORE chapter, so our women's business centers. So we have a lot of reach out into the community.
So you do spend a lot of time in the community and getting around and visiting with folks, right?
Yes.
Does that include the neighbor islands?
Certainly. We all of our programs are available statewide. All the lenders, we have a network of probably about 22 banks, lenders, credit unions that service our area. And they're under agreement with SBA to help make sure that small businesses get money that they need.
Very good. So what do you do in your spare time when you're not promoting small business?
Well, it does take a lot of time, and I really enjoy a lot of the small businesses that we do work with. I'm very kind of mission focused, so I like to get out and see what small businesses are doing. I also like to take advantage of everything Hawaii offers. So I'm a sailor and like to be outside and be involved with community activities.
I've heard rumors that you spend some time on Kaneohe Bay.
Yes, I shout out to my crew on Eau de Vie. So we aren't sailing tonight. It's a little too wet.
Oh, I would imagine it's a little choppy out there too.
Yes,
Yeah,
so-
it's been that way for a while, but you've been away, so it's probably going to be good for you to get back on the water here pretty soon.
Well, I was away on the water.
Oh ho.
Yes, I took off, and another group, some sailors that I know were off in Tahiti, so I went down to join them and went sailing for a while.
Wow, that sounds like fun.
So
That's a good break too, and as you mentioned, it allows you to refocus, so when you get back, you can hit the ground running.
yeah, it was a great time, and I really appreciated the opportunity to do that as well.
Now, Jane, where did you go to school? I mean, are you a product of Hawaii, or did you start somewhere else?
So Hawaii is definitely my home, Reg. You know, I've been here for more than 30 years, and I moved from Colorado to start a different adventure, and I just loved Hawaii, so I had to figure out a way to stay.
Very good. Well, I think Hawaii's been very fortunate to have you. So you've been doing a great
Thank
job
you.
out there.
Thank you.
So
And we're going to see UH play my alma mater tonight.
okay, first of all, who's your alma mater?
University of Colorado at Boulder.
Ah, why didn't I know that? All right, very good. And they've got a game today.
So, yes.
And this,
So,
is this, pardon my ignorance, was this basketball or volleyball or football? Or
football.
Football, okay, so we're into
Football.
the football season now. All right, so who's gonna win?
I'm behind our UH team.
Wow, very
Yes.
politically correct, good. Yeah, I think everybody here in Hawaii is probably supporting it. Very
I hope
good.
so.
Yeah, very good. Well, and so you went to school in Boulder, Colorado, and then you came over to Hawaii in 1993, I think?
1983.
83, okay.
Yeah.
And did you start with the SBA at that time?
No, actually, that was kind of a bit of an adventure. I moved over, and my training and education is in fine arts and education. So basically, I needed to start a business to, support myself, and I had a couple of smaller ventures that I got started going and realized that I was totally out of my element. So I went to the Small Business Administration to say, I think I need help with a business plan, or, just to start to learn. So we've grown up together, and they were really instrumental in my learning a bit about business to help keep that business going for a while. And they finally said, maybe you should come and work with us.
That's actually very impressive. So you were not only a customer of the SBA and taking advantage of what they had to offer, but then you ended up working for them, and you have made your way all the way up the chain to be the district director. Wow.
So I would never have thought that, but I've always been somewhat entrepreneurial and liked projects and solving problems and finding solutions, and that's what I did with some of the smaller businesses that I had started. But it also, I realized that to truly be successful, I'm going to need a little bit more business knowledge. It can't be just that you have the desire or the passion or do something well. There are some fundamentals that you need to know so you can really make the best decisions to grow your business.
I know we'll get into a little bit of the training and other resources available through the SBA here shortly, but what are some of those key fundamentals that you learned as having your own business that you really had to have a grasp of?
I think really it was really understanding and knowing your market, keeping your finger on the pulse of your business by understanding the financials, and to do advanced planning. Have a business plan. Doesn't need to be a big academic tome and pages of financials, but you have to outline your path and have milestones or benchmarks to help you achieve it.
And this business plan is not necessarily something that's done once and put aside. This is something that you need to keep an eye on.
Yes, and I think that's kind of a common practice is, okay, I need to get financing or put something together, so I'll use the business plan, and then it just sets aside. But you need to follow it, look at it, change it, modify it. It can be lean and mean. It can be an outline plan, but with some financials too, so you know where you're going and you can tell if you're getting there.
Right. Back in the old days, we used to joke about the business plan being written in pencil. I'm not sure people use pencils anymore, but I think it's all on a word processor.
I think,
you do? Okay.
I know I need to erase a lot.
I know my boys all use word processors, and so they put it in the word processor. It makes it a little bit easier and cleaner, I think, to change going forward. But that's, yeah, I think it makes sense to keep an eye on that and to look at the how the nature of the business changes over time, because it's not set in stone. I would imagine that the business that you started would be much different today.
Oh, certainly. And doing that business plan, particularly because without business experience or business education, my first business plan probably looked more like a lesson plan from the classroom with a little budget attached. But it really was an aha kind of moment, because I could see that this business can, if I do A, B, and C, we can be successful. If I know when I'm going to need some funding, or I'm going to need to hire people, I'm going to need to increase my sales, and remember to bill and collect. So, I mean, it just showed me a lot of those basic things, and that's how rudimentary my experience was when I started, but it was starting to move forward. So, you know, it was something that I needed to monitor. It also showed me, like I said, the eraser, where you made the mistakes and what was the right kind of course correction to take. How to adjust those sails to keep the boat moving in the right direction.
There's that sailor coming out.
Sailor.
All right. Well, very good. But I guess it's always nice to have those projections in place and have a general idea of where you're going, so that when you get to that point, it doesn't become a fire drill, that you've got to hire that employee right now. I mean, you can plan for it, you can put it into the queue and get prepared. You know, almost like a navigator.
Yeah, and I think that learning more about business, we do very, very affordable or very, you know, low-cost workshops and training programs that help you focus on what should be done to take your business to the next level, or just the basics, non-threatening classes with our Women's Business Center, with our Small Business Development Centers, with SCORE, to help you have the tools, and also to make some fact-based decisions. And sometimes that's the really tough thing for an entrepreneur who is so passionate about their business or their product or their service and making it better, that they forget to do the basic things, the fundamental things to keep their business on track.
It's just a matter of focus. You know, the people are so focused on the product and service and the delivery of them that they tend to take their eyes off the road, so to speak, and they're not monitoring, you know, as a navigator would, you know, where that company's actually going.
Right. How their customers are responding to their product and service. Is their customer changing? Who is really coming to them? And who is their competition? It's you know, there are a lot of balls to keep, you know, in the air.
Just in the arena of competition. I think, you know, with the fast-moving environment that we've got today, that competition can be coming at you from different angles.
Yes.
And you got to be prepared for that. Otherwise, you might get surprised.
Very much so, you know. And things change so quickly now that you have to be aware. You know, you have to be, as much as you need to be able to examine inward, you have to be kind of looking around you.
Well, we're going to get into a little bit of the details of specifically what the Small Business Administration offers in the realm of resources and support right after the break. But this is Business in Hawaii with Reg Baker, with Jane Sawyer from the Small Business Administration, and we'll be right back.
This is Alice Lee Hagan, host of ThinkTech Hawaii Business Education Spotlight. My show here at ThinkTech Hawaii is every Thursday from 3 to 4 in the afternoon. I bring in interesting guests from Hawaii, the mainland, and hopefully international guests in the future. Do join us on Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. ThinkTech Hawaii Business Education Spotlight. Aloha.
Hi, I'm Chris Leatham, and I'd like to invite you to come and watch my show every Wednesday at 3. I'm interested in a variety of issues that have to do with politics and our local business economy. And I'd like to bring on guests who like to talk about everything from technology to social media to what we can be doing to improve our environment. And so I'd like to invite you every Wednesday at 3 to stay and watch my show here with ThinkTech Hawaii. And I'll see you there.
Welcome back. This is Business in Hawaii with Reg Baker, and I'm sitting here chatting with Jane Sawyer from the Small Business Administration. Jane, the SBA is a very large organization, and they have a lot of resources, a lot of programs. What's available here in Hawaii that can help our business owners here?
Well, I think SBA as an independent federal agency is pretty small on the, when you consider the big picture, but we do have an abundance of resources, and they're targeted to small businesses at different times in the business life cycle, and they really fall under three major categories, I would say. There's, our capital access, our guaranteed loan programs, our 504 programs. We have small business innovation research grants, and there are some other vehicles that are available to help small businesses. And our loan programs or financing can go anywhere from $50 to $5 million. So,
$50?
well, if you wanted to go that small, in one of our microloan programs, we do have a microlender here at Pacific Gateway Center that will help people who are, perhaps not bankable yet, or it's a very new micro business that needs a little bit of funding to help them get started, grow.
Exactly. It's a
like
way
that.
to get started and to start getting a track record a little bit.
Yes,
Oh, very good.
so they may not be bankable, credit worthy yet, may not have really learned yet how to keep their records or have a long enough history in business to really be able to go and get a larger loan. So it's something that you can start and step up. Our primary program is our 7A guaranteed loan program, and most of the banks here do participate with us. Here's one of those other positive things that's going on, Reg, is that we're hitting record levels in the number of loans that we're able to get out to small businesses across our state. It's been just a banner year, and in Hawaii as well as across the country. So we think that's a good indication.
So the local office here for the SBA is setting records as far as guaranteeing loans.
Yes.
I mean, that sounds very positive to me.
We have one more month to go in our federal fiscal year, and we're over 700 loans already this year. Our previous high mark has been about just over 500.
Wow, so you blew right past that.
So we're 702 loans for like $70 million, maybe a little above that right now with 1 month to go. So,
all right, so you can hit 750 here. That's
it would be remarkable, and all the banks have been very, very responsive. Our loan program, the banks make most of the credit decisions, so it really is once you have your package or your financing proposal together, a small business owner would approach their bank. You can go to any bank, the bank you've been working with, or one that you've heard is good to work with for small businesses. And they'll give you the paperwork, help you fill out your application. You'll need to submit some documentation, but they'll review the loan. And if you're in a higher risk category for them, then you may get an SBA guarantee. One of the things that I think is moving those smaller range loans under $150,000 right now is that there's a fee waiver for the borrower and the lender on SBA loans. So it makes getting that working capital or money to renovate a little bit less expensive for a business owner right now.
And so after they get the $50, then they can grow up and get the $150 at a pretty competitive process.
Well, you can start right in there, with what your actual need is. Because the banker that will want to know, how are you going to use the proceeds? What's your credit like? Who's involved with your business? What is your capacity to grow your business? What do you want to do? A little bit of that business plan is going to be necessary to show them that you know what you're doing and where your path is. And then can turn around and come to terms on a loan. So that's where you can, again, negotiate with the bank and even let them know that you'll be open for an SBA guarantee.
Very good.
We help a lot of business professionals start their office. We help people renovate. We provide working capital. We help people start restaurants. We've got, just some amazing different businesses that we're involved with because all different kinds of industries come to SBA.
I think there's even a program that you have that can help them go out and actually buy the building.
Yes, so our SBA 504 loan program is for long-term fixed assets. And this program can get involved with a small business owner on a bigger project up to $5 million. And it can be for purchase of a building, renovation for building, heavy equipment. And it takes a third-party lender. Headco is our primary certified development company that we work with here. They've been in the business for 30 years, do an excellent job in working on these programs. But the loan itself can be a term up to 25 years, depending on the life of the asset. So, and it's fixed, so you won't have that interest rate fluctuating, which is very appealing. And so the bank, the certified development company, and the borrower are the ones who get in on that. And it usually takes about participation, about 10% of the project for the small business owners. If you're looking for real estate, sometimes that's a good entry level to
It gives
get
them
into a
another
project.
option to explore.
So, and we've helped people buy buildings, renovate buildings, put in refrigeration plants, start a restaurant or build out a restaurant, retool an energy package. So it's all different kinds of uses.
But I guess the bottom line, using a CPA term, I guess, is that it all kind of starts with that business plan and having that direction and being able to demonstrate to the borrower and I guess to the SBA that you've got a plan in place that's got a good chance of being successful and this is what you need some help with.
Because even with an SBA loan, we are going to make sure that you have some skin in the game, I guess a football term, and some skin in the game and participation with that loan, and that your project shows repayment ability and has a likelihood of succeeding.
Right.
Yeah,
like banks, the SBA is probably not interested in going out and having a bunch of assets if that loan isn't performing. They would prefer that it be successful and that the loan gets repaid.
Yes, well, that's our whole goal, is to help that businesses grow and make money, pay their loans, and perhaps move on to, start more jobs and expand their market.
That's right. Add to the employment numbers here in Hawaii. That'd be great.
Yes.
Now, what resources does the SBA here have that can kind of assist the owner in keeping things on track and getting off to the right start, that sort of thing?
Well, we have a network of resource partners who provide free confidential consulting for businesses at any stage of their business development. So whether you're a startup, whether you're thinking about expanding, you want to buy a franchise, you're thinking to start exporting, there are a number of different programs that will help you get into those areas or evaluate your readiness, help you put together that business plan. One, probably the longest standing and successful organization that we have here is our SCORE chapter. These are volunteer business consultants. They're co-located with SBA and funded in part by the SBA, but it's a network of volunteers who will help you with any area in your business. If you're looking for a marketing expert, we'll match you with someone who has a background in marketing. If you're a franchisor, if you need somebody to help you put together your business plan, develop a marketing plan, look at packaging and pricing, we'll connect you with these type of people, and that consulting is free. They also provide some workshops, so you can find that schedule at our website at www.sba.gov. And if you do /HI, Hawaii, you'll find our calendar and our schedule there.
Excellent. And just for full disclosure purposes, I just wanted to mention to the audience that I am on the national board of the SBA's Regulatory Fairness Board, and I'm the chair of the 9th region, which includes the pretty much the Western United States. And I subscribe to some of the newsletters, including the Hawaii newsletter that announces all of these programs, and I'm constantly amazed at how much is out there. I mean, it's never ending. And some of these can be attended through the internet on a webinar type basis too, I believe. So
Yeah. I think there is a very rich network of resources that's available, whether they are online and from our agency, or they are done in partnership with other agencies. So even if you go to SBA.gov and you search for online training, there's a list about 25 different interactive courses on all different kinds of big business topics. It could be a template for a business plan. It could be more tips on marketing research. It could be business financial templates. And some of these have been done with Harvard and the University of California and you know, other big think tanks that will kind of guide you through the process, and you can tap in. You do need to sign in, but we don't sell or use that information in any other way. But it's available to you just with the click of a mouse, and
how
by
much
top
does this
trainers,
cost?
and that's free to you.
very good.
Another program that we have that is a longstanding SBA program is called the Small Business Development Centers. And this is a partnership with universities and colleges across the country. In our district, we have a great SBDC that's been around for about 30 years with a lot of different great, well-trained consultants. It's a partnership with the University of Hawaii, run out of University of Hawaii at Hilo with Don Straney and his team. But Kathy Wiltsey has service centers on all the islands, 2 on the Big Island, 1 on Maui at the Tech Center. They've done some great things here at Manoa Innovation Center, Joe and his team, and then we also have somebody over on Kauai. You can sign up with them to go to class for individual counseling. They can help you put together your financial proposal. And we've had some huge success with some of these consultants helping you either rework your internal financial management, help you turn around to find out and become profitable, and then also get the money you need to grow. So we, you know, whether we're talking about Maui Brewing or So Ono Foods or, you know, any number of franchises, Ace Auto Glass, we've seen so many great stories.
Well, and I heard
coming out of there.
on Kauai there was a Kaloa rum. I think that actually got engaged with some exporting type opportunities.
That was a very exciting announcement too, Reg, that SBA has what they call the State Trade and Export Program. And that is funding that actually goes out to different states to help them train and get small businesses and medium-sized businesses into the export market. So we do a lot of training through this program. We've just got an award in August for another $750,000 to DBED that we'll be deploying out through the state of Hawaii again to help people go to trade shows, to get training, whether it is get Gold Key research funding. So there are a lot of different tools. And Kaloa Rum was one of them that took advantage of getting exposed to Asia, and they've really seen, you know, a great deal of growth and success by getting into that market.
Good for them. As a matter of fact, Kaloa Rum is going to be a guest on this show on November 19th.
Wonderful.
So we'll be able to hear a little bit more about their story then. But we are at a point where we're going to have to take another break.
Okay.
You know, I'm here with Jane Sawyer, District Director of the Small Business Administration, and we're talking about how the SBA can really get involved and help you and your business be more successful. We'll be right back.
Hi, Jane.
Hi, Keith.
My name's Keith Bettinger.
I knew that.
And I'm the host of ThinkTech Asia.
I knew that too.
Here on ThinkTech.
Fabulous. You got a great show going, Keith.
Thank you very much. And for our viewers out there that are interested in ThinkTech Asia, it airs every Tuesday from 4 to 4:45, and it can be accessed online at thinktech.com.
Yeah, so what kind of guests you like?
Well, we have a number of guests from academia, from practitioners of international affairs. Sometimes we have military officials. Sometimes we have public officials on the show. And our goal, we try to talk about current issues in South Asia, Southeast Asia, East Asia, and Central Asia, all throughout the Asian realm in more depth than you would find in traditional mainstream
That's the
media.
difference, isn't it?
Exactly.
That you're reaching out beyond what ordinary news media would do.
Right.
And that's why we like you so much.
We're trying to provide a thinking person's perspective, an intelligent perspective on what's going on, and we're both sides of the story, or even when there's more than two sides, we try to cover every angle. And I think that's one of the big benefits that we provide here at ThinkTech. Is it's a really innovative source of educational programming for the people of Hawaii.
You're great, Keith. You are a great host. You got a great show going on. I watch it every week.
Thanks very much.
Why don't you
Jane.
guys watch it every week too, okay?
4:45 to 4 to 4:45 every Tuesday.
Welcome back. This is Business in Hawaii with Reg Baker, and we're here talking story with Jane Sawyer, the Small Business Administration. And I just want to do a little shout out to Cheryl Lizor. I hope I pronounced that correctly. We appreciate you retweeting and favoriting our tweet. So we appreciate that very much. Jane, I guess we've got some pretty neat programs ahead of us, and we've got, I guess, the minority business opportunities as well as the Women's Business Center. I mean, you've got a lot going on.
Well, we really work to make sure that we're reaching all segments of our community and identifying opportunities that are available here in Hawaii. So we do work a lot with our socially and economically disadvantaged small businesses. And one of the prominent programs there, and another long-standing program, is our government contracting programs, our 8A certification, which allows us to work with small businesses who want to break in and get into government contracting. It is a certification process through the SBA, and I'm really happy to say that we've improved that turnaround time a lot. It's been a very, very competitive area, and you really have to be an existing business and kind of know where you're going. You have to have that business plan already in place and be able to apply, because you have to have been in business for several years. You have to show that you have a likelihood of success, and then that you are owned and operated by a socially or economically disadvantaged individuals. Recently, that has come to include a program or another program that involves some set-asides and work advantages for women-owned small business contractors. So that is a self-certified program that could be an additional certification through the SBA. But you can find a lot of details on how to apply for these certifications online at our website by just going to sba.gov and searching federal contracting. It's one of our three major areas of work. You know, the contracting, the consulting, and then the capital access.
I know that federal contracting can be intimidating to some people. It's dealing with the federal government can be scary at times. But
it scares me on a daily basis. Yeah.
well, but if you go through the program and you get whatever certification you need to get, it could be a game changer. I mean, this could kick you into second or third gear and really generate a lot of extra business for you.
Those contracting certifications are really business development programs, because you have a fixed amount of time that you participate, and we provide a lot of training and technical assistance to help those business owners kind of up their game. Because government contracting is not for the weak of heart. There's, reporting, you have annual reviews that we do, because you have to have, it's a tough one to make sure that if we are asking our federal government to set aside 23% of their work for small businesses, that you're really a deserving small business to get the work, that you have to perform on the contract, and that you maintain that certification standard, that we make sure that the 8A companies we're involved with have access to the resources they need, know who their contacts are, know how to put a bid together, have people to help them. There are Mentor-Protege programs that are very, very strong and help connect small businesses and position them to do well and deliver a project on time and on budget.
That's critical. Can you expand a little bit on that Mentor-Protege program?
Mentor-Protege programs help the small businesses currently that are 8A certified to work with a larger business, so they have the capacity to to grow while they're delivering in a partnership on a government project. There is an approval process. You do generally identify the mentor in advance and identify a procurement that you're willing to partner on. So there are some rules and regulations that have to go through your application for the Mentor-Protege Program. And then it also helps position you to get a bid. Your mentor usually is somebody who is a larger business. They don't have, they can be a small business also by our NAICS code standards. But then the mentor-protege, they also bring additional financial capacity, additional expertise, perhaps bonding that a smaller business may not yet have grown into or be capable of securing on their own.
So it's a great support mechanism for a company to really get comfortable with all the rules and regulations, give them time to grow into becoming pretty much a fully credited contractor of their own.
Yeah, stand on their own and be able to take on bigger contracts to build their capability statement and their body of experience in working for federal government.
It sounds like the SBA and all their programs can be a pretty valuable partner in growing the business and keeping it successful.
Yeah, we're not going to do it all for you. We do expect you to bring your ingenuity, your drive, your willingness to work. I don't think anybody in our 8A program or who's successfully gone through the 8A program would say they haven't put, a lot of sweat equity in there also. But even in getting our financing program, it's you do need to be eligible, and then you need to qualify, and then you need to pay the loan back. So, but that's a growth thing for business too. As you know, there's always a need to keep that money coming into a business, and that is the tool for growth.
Yep, absolutely. Now, there is another program, and I may not call it by its proper name, but there is a leadership training program that the SBA also does. It is actually very successful. Can you tell us about that?
That is a great program, Reg. And I think it also kind of belies some of those myths about the SBA that were just for beginners, or that you go to SBA when you can't get a loan or you're not going to be successful, that only losers go to SBA. But that's not the case at all. We're affiliated with some of the best businesses and have helped grow some of the best businesses in the state. So our Emerging Leaders Program is a newer program we've had in Hawaii for about 5 years. And it is designed for existing businesses who are ready to kind of jump to the next level. You have to have been in business for at least 3 years. You have to have a set level of annual revenues, usually between $350,000 to $400,000 a year. You have to have at least one employee, and then there's a competitive application process because we'll cover 15 slots each year if we get eligible businesses.
And how many applicants are there for these 15 slots?
We usually get 35 to 40. And then we look at, there is a serious commitment of time on behalf of the CEO of that business, because they need to show up at 13 different classes, and yes, there's homework, and there's some CEO meetings and everything. So we do expect them to come out of the class with a viable plan for growth, and we've had just terrific results. When I first approached headquarters to say, I want to bring this Emerging Leaders Program to Hawaii, they said, we don't think you're big enough to be able to support this and be successful in delivering this program. And I said, you watch our small businesses. You just wait
good
and
for
see.
you. I'm glad you proved them wrong.
We've been very, very, H cohort, shout out to all our Emerging Leaders graduates. They've done a great job. And our facilitator, Julie Purcell. It's a program that we offer SBA contracts with Interrise, and we cover all the tuition and fees for the small businesses who get into this
So
course.
wait a minute, this is another free program?
It's another program that, they pay for their parking when they come down to
Ooh.
our office on Wednesday nights.
Well, parking downtown can be expensive.
But it's a great program, and I think that everybody who's gone through it has really benefited by participating, and we continue to report back from the first class. So we have millions in increases in revenue. We've got significant job creation from these firms. We've seen them find joint venture partners, get more government contracts, gain their certification, and really feel like they've kicked it up several notches, with some of the tools that they got or the connections they made through this class. Some of them have connected with lenders and financial experts who continue to mentor them or help them buy buildings. So it's really good outcomes. We'll be looking at applications starting in January for 2016.
And
we'd
how
love
do
to see that grow.
how do people get an application to apply for this type of program?
They can, probably they can call my office at 541-2990 and let somebody know they'd like to be put on our application list. They could email me at jane.sawyer@sba.gov, and we'll connect them with
That just went out across the country, right?
It's out there.
Okay.
It's out there. So, but that's great. I would love to see more businesses. We've had people enroll and graduate from the class who've come from Hilo, who come from Kauai, and Maui, to come through and join this cohort. And we try to meet with them quarterly. We're working on that to make it more successful, so we continue that processing. And we're trying to convert that also into kind of a master's series where more of these participating business will continue to look at, how do I do succession planning? How do I, look at, what would I do when I want to sell my business? How do I build my business as an asset? And we've talked about that. You've been able to come in once in a while as an expert panelist with us, so to help evaluate some of those plans and sometimes redirect them when they need to get back on track with, those financial dreams that,
Well,
can grow.
monitoring those financial results is not as much fun as managing the sales process or managing the marketing, but it is a critical part of the business, and you can't ignore it.
And I think really when people start to look at it more and understand it more, it becomes a little more exciting. It's droll going through numbers and numbers, but actually looking and understanding the relationship between your financial statements and your cash flow and how money is working for you can be really fun. It can be really sexy.
It cause and effect, and that bank balance, as it gets bigger and bigger, that can be fun too.
Because it just means that you have the ability to do more things. It's whether it is that you're in your business has a real socially conscious purpose, whether you have other commitments to work with the community. It just gives you the flexibility to execute as you would choose, so that makes all the difference in the world and understanding how you can do that and how you can maneuver with the capital to make a difference.
That's right. And the longer you do it and the more you're engaged with your mentor and you've got this support in place, I wouldn't say it gets any easier, but it becomes less intimidating and you get more comfortable with the process and therefore more successful. And I think that's part of what this program is doing is kind of monitoring that and keeping that ball moving forward.
Right. And we look at starting with people very, very early in kind of the creation of their business or even just the ideas and focusing in on, should I become an entrepreneur or is there a better place for me to focus my energy in my work? We look at financial literacy, particularly through programs such as our Women's Business Center that's over at the Mink Center for Business and Leadership at the Y. So they do work with economic advancement and financial literacy, and we even have a great workshop coming up with them on September 10th. It's called Finding the Funding, and it's going to bring together a lot of the different lenders in the community to look at exactly some of those questions and some of those issues that newer businesses, existing businesses, kind of reorienting themselves, are going to go. So great workshop. They should call and
I use refocusing.
Refocusing. Okay, that's a little easier to say.
Jane, I wish we could continue the conversation, but I'm afraid we're beginning to run out of time. We've got just a few seconds left, but I just wanted to thank the audience very much for tuning in today. We do tape live every Thursday at 2 o'clock, and then it gets rebroadcast on multiple stations, Olelo and TV 16 and occasionally PBS. And then, of course, it's available on YouTube. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Aloha.